Hi, and welcome to the next episode of our Start in Empyrion. So where we are is we just finished the Clear Skies quest. We just finished looting the abandoned base, and the question is what to do next. So if we just go to M, and then we just go to the system map here. So the default, I guess, would be to go to either Ninga's Skill and Masperon, and just go through the mini quest items there, as well as the Tales of Tash. Because Tales of Tash require you to find four basically pieces of paper in each of these four planets, total of 16. We could also go here for mining as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a longer term goal of setting up a base in Omicron. So that's going to be a two-stage thing. Firstly, as you can see, you've got that 5.3 AU distance there. That means we have to go, we can only get there by warping. Now, there is a method whereby if you fly between any of these planets here, there is a destroyed station in the middle of 7 ice asteroids. And you go through a process there and you can actually get to a transporter which will transport you to Omicron. So that's one way of doing it, but it's a bit of a difficult fight. You've got about 9 or 10 of those armed mechanoids there. And because you're in space, you have to wear an EVA, and those EVAs take off 80 of your armor. Now, we do have heavy armor, so we could go up there with an EVA and do that process, but then you have to leave the SV behind. So we're going to do something different. What we're going to do is, firstly, we're going to set up a transporter here, and then we're going to warp to Omicron, set up a base there, and that way we can transport backwards and forwards as and when we choose. Right, so first things first, we need to unlock the transporter. So we are at level 15 here, and that's the level required for a transporter. So let's unlock that. Now, making it, depending on the ores that you picked up in the abandoned base, you may or may not, well, you're likely to be short of one or two things. I was short of Neo, so I had to go off to where those activators are and mine some more Neo. But now, what I'm short of, if we just go teleporter and try to make this thing. So it's in red, so it's telling us that we're lacking something, and the thing that we're lacking is pentaxid. So we have to go get some pentaxid somewhere. So we can't get this in aqua because we could just go to any large body of water and just go diving there, and you can find it under the water, but that's one at a time. And so I'm going to go a different route. So what I'm going to do to get the pentaxid is I'm going to firstly open up the matrix. We haven't done that before, so let's go do it. It means that we have to go to this place here called the Font of Knowledge. We pick up the key matrix there, and that will then open up the obelisk there. So let's do that. Okay, we're just coming into the Font of Knowledge here. Now, if you are collecting the Tales of Tash, one of them is here. As mentioned, there is no ongoing dependency to do this, so you could skip the whole process if you really wanted to do it. But anyway, one of them is there. And if we remember, one of them was also at the camp where we set up initially, and there was also one at the activator site, and one inside of the obelisk as well. So that's the 4 on Aqua anyway. But this is where we get the key matrix, which opens up the obelisk. We get a little video playing here normally.
Matrix taker detected. Configuration compatible. Imprint and access permission enabled. Key matrix generated.
All right, done. So we have the key matrix now. And if we look in our inventory, there it is. You always have to carry this with you, so bear that in mind. If you don't have it on you, you can't get into the obelisk. So keep it in your inventory. All right, let's get back to base. Back at camp and ready to go. So I did put an armor locker in here so that we could check what we're going to be traveling with. So we have our light armor on, and we found this mobility boost in the abandoned camp. So we're going to be wearing that, and that'll give us a slight speed boost because we're liable to meet a lot of enemies on Masperon, and goal is to, well, intention is to just outrun them. Okay, so we have the key matrix on us, and now we can access the obelisk. And if we travel to the top here, we'll see that we've got 4 teleporters. So this one here, I guess the blue represents snow because that's the snow planet. This is the desert planet, I guess yellow for sound. And then these two are Masperon. And the lush green one, that's Aqua. And this one's going to take us to, we can get the FP. Yep, that one takes us to Masperon. So let's go. And here we are in Masperon. Now, for some reason, this teleporter system always switches your jetpack on. So whenever you arrive somewhere, you have to switch it back on. So let's do that. J to get it back. Okay, so what? We got 9 hours until sunset. So we're in daytime. Good. So if we just check the map, where we want to go for the pentaxid that we came here for is this swampland here. So we're going to be coming out, turning right, and just legging it. We could have used a hover bike here, but I'm going to go on foot because it's not that far. And we can get some plants along the way, and we still haven't leveled up to max yet. A bit of a lag there. So where we're heading, if you look ahead, you should see some plumes of smoke. And that's where the swampland is. Yeah, like that, right ahead of us there. Oh, that's a Hishkal. You could cut him down. He drops rocks and different things, but we're not here for that. So as well as the pentaxid that we're here for... Is he still following us? No. There's some Promethean, but you also get these alien thorns, and we need those for medicines. So it's worthwhile picking up a few of those while we're here. Pentaxid that way. Let's go. Yeah, let's just chase the pentaxid wherever it is and pick up thorns along the way. And eggs and whatever else you can see. Yeah, this is the quickest source of alien thorns. We haven't met any enemies yet. What tends to happen is you run into these alien bugs, and they're surrounded by a large pack of scorpions. Oh, here we go. Oh, there's an alien bug there. So yeah, they spit at you from a distance. Oh, here comes the weather. So anyway, let's keep a bit of a distance from that bug, if we can. Yeah, you see he's surrounded. Whoops. There you go. He's detected us. So I think we're being chased. Maybe not. But let's get out of here anyway. Pentaxid. Anybody? Nope. Yeah, sometimes they chase you in for quite a long time as well. Those guys are friendly. Unless you shoot them and then they turn hostile. And there's no reason to do that. They don't drop anything particularly interesting or necessary. Main things you get from Masperon is these alien thorns, and as you can see, it's a place you can run around picking up a lot of the pentaxid that we came here for. I'm not seeing any pentaxid though. Let's see, we want to head back here eventually, so let's loop around to the right. Which we got 10. So I want to get about 20 just so that we know we've got enough. Teleporter itself takes 20. We already have some, but we're going to need more for other things as well. So it almost feels like we're out of the Correct area. So there's some there. That alien bug on our left. Okay, let's just keep moving. Yep, there you go. He's spitting at us again. Ow. So that only took what we got 482. So it only took 18 health. Which we can live with. Yeah, the plumes of smoke normally mean pentaxid. We're heading north still, just checking the map. Okay, so we're not too far off getting back. There's some. Okay, so here's a whole bunch. Since we hit 20 pentaxid, we'll head home. We're at 17. That's 18, 19 west to get home. And there's our 20th. Oh, scorpion. Scorpion down. So it's east to get home, sorry. So southeast now. Alright, let's grab some more of these alien thorns. So there's a mosquito. These guys can stun you here. You can also cut them down. They drop alien thorns very often. Yeah, sorry, alien stings. And there's a kind of mini quest for one of the Xerax families that you meet here, where you have to go get 10 of these things. But anyway, if you need to, that's how you get them. Okay, let's head home anyway, and I'll see you back at base. Back at base. So one good thing about having your base close to the obelisk is that when you're in this situation, you can just hit F4 and you can access all of the storage in the base here. So for example, we're hungry, so I could just eat and then get back to where we were previously. But anyway, let's get back into base. J to get our jetpack back on. So we've now got the goods that we need to be able to make the teleporter, which is primarily that stuff. We ended up with 29, which was quite good. Right, teleporter. And there we go. Okay, back when it's finished. Right, we now have our teleporter. We're ready to put it down, but let's just take a quick look at this thing before we do anything else. Now, teleporter, energy in 12 kpu. Now, if we look at our main here, so without any devices working, we're only using 0.2 kpu. So if we put this teleporter down, that consumption level is going to go up to 12.2, which is massive. We've currently got 31 minutes power left, assuming that no replenishment from the solar panels. But let's just put this down. I'm going to put it here. So let's just go to power again. So we're now to 12.2 kpu, and you see how it just carves into our power there. So the first thing that we want to do is actually switch this thing off. So you just point it out with the mouse, just go P, and just go into devices and just deactivate it. There we go. So we're back to sanity again at 0.2 kpu. So what we actually want with this teleporter is it only to be active when we stand in it and then we're ready to use it. And we want it to switch off as soon as we've left. So basically we need it only operating while we're standing right here. Otherwise we're draining our power as we fall. All right, so how do we do that? What we have to do is set up a motion sensor, and I've got a switch on us. And we want to set the motion sensor up so that when we're standing here, it switches the teleporter on. So let's do that. So firstly, right mouse click, switch motion sensor, and place it right there. So all we need to do now is point at the motion sensor, and we have to press P, and then we go into devices. So the motion sensor is currently activated whenever we are 3 blocks either side or 3 blocks in front. Now, if you just take a look at this, we only want the motion sensor to be active when we're in this block here. So that's 1, 2 to the front. And we don't want the motion sensor active any other time. So go back to P again. We don't want anything to the side. We only want 2 to the front. So let's do that. Okay, so there we go. Now, just checking that, if we go up to P, we point at it and press P and go interactive setup. Then we just back off. There you go. So that's where the motion sensor is triggered, those 2 blocks there, which is exactly what we wanted. So now when we step into the teleporter, it triggers that motion sensor. Okay, escape. Now, let's press P again on the motion sensor, and this time let's go to signal logic and let's give this thing a name. So you do that right there, and let's call it teleporter MS for motion sensor. Enter. Okay, so now that motion sensor is set to trigger in the 2 blocks in front, and it's got a name of teleporter MS. This is not active right now. If we point at it with the mouse and go P, then what we can do in these boxes here is we can tell it to follow that motion sensor. So whenever that motion sensor is triggered, this will switch on. And we are done. So now whenever we step into either of these 2 blocks here, it will switch on the teleporter and go. And also, if we teleport somewhere, then of course we're no longer here and it will switch off again. So that way the teleporter is only burning power when we're standing in it, awaiting our instructions to teleport somewhere else, and it's not burning power at any other time. So that's how we manage the teleporter not burning off all our fuel. The other issue that is important is that when we first spawned in this base, we only had 2 small generators. So if we just go P on these and devices, you see each of these 2 generators only generates 2.5 kpu. And it says up here will explode when overloaded. So when we spawned the base in, we only had these 2 small generators with a maximum capacity of 5 kpu. So as soon as we put this in and activated it, that should have exploded our 2 generators. As it said, overloaded, and it will explode. But what's happening, and I think this is a change, is that we put in 4 capacitors. We put in solar power, and we put in 4 capacitors. Now, for some reason, and I don't remember this being true prior to this version, these capacitors now count as small generators for some obscure reason. So if we just go to P, and we just go to statistics, fuel-based energy, it says generators are 6. So what's happening is it's counting the capacitors as small generators, and each small generator, as we saw, puts out 5 kpu. So what it's doing is multiplying 6 by 5, and it's getting up to 25 kpu, although 6 times 5 is 30, so I'm not entirely sure how that works out either. But that's why we have enough energy to be able to sustain the power requirements of the teleporter. So I don't know why it does this, because the capacitors are not fuel-based energy, it's solar-based. But anyway, just bear that in mind. If you do not have the capacitors, what you have to do is increase your generator capacity. And you would do that by going into F3 in base, and you would go down to large generator, because you see this thing generates 25 kPu. You look at the energy outline there. So you would have to unlock the, is it unlocked? Yes, it is. I think it is anyway. Maybe not. No, it's not. So we did unlock it anyway. So you'd have to make one of these and then place it on the base to increase your power output. Otherwise, your two generators would explode. But as mentioned, for some reason, these capacitors are counting as small generators. All right, so anyway, we've now got our teleporter in. So the next thing that we want to do is figure out how to get to Omicron. And we're going to have to warp there. So we're going to have to see what materials we need to be able to put a warp drive onto the SV we've got. Get over there, and then we're going to set up a base. I might have to do some more mining, because what we're going to have to do is we're going to pre-prepare by making another blue moon base. And so that way we can plonk it down when we get over there with a teleporter, and then that's our goal. Because then we'll be able to bounce backwards and forwards with, between Omicron and here with the teleporters. And then we can take it from there. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and hopefully that was helpful, and hope to see you for the next episode when we all make it to Omicron. Bye.